The Middle of the Pack podcast. Hey runners, welcome to the Middle of the Pack podcast, the podcast that keeps you moving. I'm your host Padraig, and I'm thrilled to have you join me today. We're lacing up our shoes and we're ready to talk about all things running. I'm a runner just like you, navigating the ups and downs of training, racing, and everything in between. We'll dive into practical tips and real conversations about what it's like to be a runner who's chasing progress and not perfection. So, whether you're starting out on your running journey, a middle of the pack runner, or a seasoned marathoner, this podcast is for you. So let's get started and dive in to the Middle of the Pack podcast.
I'm really questioning whether I can get a sub 4 Padraig, I'm going to say.
Go for it. Because one time even my heart rate was at like 127 on that 7 mile.
I know,
like I pushing another 7 miles, and I was like, that can't be right. But
Were you asleep or something? That's Angeline and Fergal Murphy joining me again this week on the Middle of the Pack podcast. And this week we're really going into more detail about our journey now to Dublin, the rocky road to Dublin, as I've started to call it. But what better way to start than us celebrating the fact that we got tickets? And we're going to take up the conversation now with them, where we're celebrating the fact that we have finally got our tickets. It was a bit ropey for some of us. My wife Yvonne got hers earlier. But anyway, you'll hear the story. This is episode 3 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. So we got our tickets.
We've got our tickets.
yeah,
Definitely
sorted.
now.
Yes.
You've
In the
definitely got
bag.
yours, Fergal, because like Angeline.
we did. Like it was. I'll have to admit now, the training got pretty lax when you were like just training for a phantom marathon that you hadn't got a ticket for. It was. So now the accountability is there and the ticket is secured. And yeah, Angeline got hers as well. You were maybe a week after me.
Yes, I actually thought I had one in the bag, and then the girl actually to send it back or thought it was refunded. She wasn't sure about how it worked, and then she just did clicked a button and it refunded my money, and it was.
That's right.
And then the window wasn't open yet, so you know the way the whole thing works.
Yeah.
And then I thought Fergal was sitting with his ticket, and I thought, I haven't got one. I'm not going to get one. My training went even more lax then because I had no goal. I'm such a goal-orientated person that if I don't have a goal, then things can go off the Richter scale. So I was glad to get one. I put a message up on my Instagram and I got one pretty quickly actually, just through a couple of people that I know, and actually got a ticket for another girl that was looking as well. So I feel very lucky to get one because I see still people putting up messages looking for tickets.
I know, there is Kieran's group, and there's also, we joined a running club after Cork as well because we were kind of looking for a bit of company on our long runs. And like there's still people putting it up. But you see, the thing was when I was doing it for the when I was on the resale that morning, Yvonne was in the shop. She was doing it. I was trying to do it, and Kieran sent up a message saying, "Have a look at this website." You know, not necessarily. It was the Eventmaster website. So I went straight on, and jeepers, I got in, and I was like nervously trying to fill out my details and do all that sort of stuff. And I just got to submit, like pay at the cart, and a van message saying got one. So I was going, should I just go ahead and get another one? And I just pulled out. And then about 10 minutes later, you said you didn't have a ticket, and I was going, oh jeepers! We all got
I
one.
know. I was actually in a meeting and completely oblivious to the fact that the resale was happening at 12. Like, it's like completely. It was I knew it was happening at some point, but for whatever reason, I hadn't read WhatsApp messages and missed the whole time. But
and then I sort of assume Angeline knows this stuff. You know, when you're in the state, you're in the same running group.
Yeah,
WhatsApp, and you just assume like, and then the guy that I was getting the ticket off was communicating to me, like, you know, that the refund window was open before the transfer window or whatever. So like I knew the transfer window was open at whatever the 21st, and then that the refund was before that or whatever. But we got there and my tickets are in.
So then let's get straight down to business. What's your targets for Dublin?
Mine is 3:15 or something.
And what did you do, Cork?
I did Cork in Maine was sub 3:30, but I ended up like hitting 3:30. You think that was well paced, but it was a real shambolic race. Like I went out too hot, and then a boy that was sort of running beside me kicked on at halfway, and then I realised I couldn't kick on, and I was like, I just have to hold on here now for like a half marathon to try and get home.
Yeah.
Then I cramped up on. I pulled my hamstring, left hamstring, 3 weeks before, and it cramped up on 22.5 miles, and then my right hamstring cramped up 24.5 miles. 3:30 pacer ran past me. I says, "Oh, disaster here! I've really effed this up," and I ended up then like I had to go like I need to get home in like 9-minute miles, so I was trying to limp home. Really, I can only describe it like having a cup full of water to the brim and then trying to run without spilling it, like because your whole body was like.
But you threw the side when you got to the finish line because I saw your pictures. You were very.
I really enjoyed it like the whole way around, like because I wasn't in the 3:30 group. You know, I wasn't behind the pacer, so I wasn't with anybody. So I was slightly ahead, so I was on my own nearly everywhere I went. So anywhere I was running, like you know, I was going, go on, go on, go on, trying to get the cheers. You know, so probably would have saved time if I hadn't been play acting up. Maybe and enjoy it so much. Like,
selfies. He stopped for selfies and everything.
No, I didn't stop for selfies.
Took a selfie with some of the roadwork people.
No, I didn't. They were standing with a camera like this, and then I could see it from way off, and then I just went in.
Did they recognize you as being one of the runner's diary leaders? And
no, it wasn't. I had a lot of toilet breaks now. To be fair, which was probably a big downfall.
You did all right if you had to break and take selfies and do all that sort of stuff.
I wasn't taking selfies. She's only joking.
And you will
go. She can tell you her goal time now.
I'm hoping for sub 4. Yeah.
So we'll be following the same pacer then.
Yes, Padraig, is that what you're going for?
Well, I did 4:10, and Kieran said to me. So I was hoping for 4.5. So when I did 4 hours 10, I was delighted.
That's unbelievable, yeah.
Well, he had said to me, Kieran had said to me, just go with 4:15 pace to see how you're doing. And for most of it, I thought, all right, this is great. You know, I thought I was flying along. And then I'd say after 20, I started feeling the effects of gels and just felt a bit groggy. And then I just started chatting to the pacer and I just kind of forgot about everything. And then I was able to, he had said, when we got to the straight road, you know, the straight road? Yes. This big, long, straight road. Yeah. It's near the end. He said, we've got 30 seconds in the bank. So if you're up for it, just break away. So then I kind of just left him. And
wow.
So Kieran said to me the first time I saw him in the bar at that time, he said, no, he said, you're not doing any more. And I said, I really want to do Dublin. And he said, well, you'll do sub 4 if you're going to do it again. So that's kind of in my head now.
Yeah. But your training's been good because I've been following you on Strava and some of your races recently, like you're fast, like you've picked up speed.
Well, yeah, they're fast for us middle of the pack kind of people.
Yes, exactly.
But it's fast for your time that you're going for.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
You know.
It is funny because I don't know, you can't get down every Tuesday night, but going to the speed sessions on Tuesday nights, now everybody is way faster than me, but it's like,
yeah,
it still pushes you. Do you know what I mean? And it's,
of course,
it's time, so you're going out for 20 minutes, so it doesn't matter. You know, everyone kind of finishes together.
Yes.
And then when we join the club, there's a track session, and that's kind of the same thing. You're going around in circles. So after about 2 laps, nobody knows who's ahead or who's behind, except it's fairly obvious with me that I'm kind of plodding along. But that has really helped with the speed, you know, times. So it's just, that's one of the rewarding bits. And I think I wouldn't have been a kind of a group person, but I've really discovered over the last year or two that running definitely helps when you're in a group. Do you know, I never followed a pacer on any race until Cork. I was always worried that it would demotivate me if they took off. Do you know, so I was kind of going, will I do it? And then when Kieran had said, go out with the 4:15 pacer and see how you go, I suppose it just gave me the confidence to do it. But it's amazing then how I suppose it was within my capabilities. So then I just found it so much helpful in doing that, because maybe I'd be like yourself, that I'd go a bit crazy. All right, so, the way sometimes you mind wanders on the long run. You either slow down or you speed up, or one or the other. You need to keep it steady, I think. So
Yeah.
so I'm definitely, we're doing a half marathon on Sunday, and I'm definitely going to follow a pacer again on that.
What pacer are you going to go for, Padraig?
I'm going to go for, and this will come out after this, so I'll have to.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for 150, but I'm not
Very
actually
good.
expecting to do 150.
Yes.
So maybe
Very
152,
good.
153 for a
Yes.
half marathon now, not a full marathon, obviously.
Yes.
But that would be a PB, and
Yes.
I haven't been tapering or anything like that, so it'll be a little bit of tired legs. So we'll see. And then for Dublin, I'll definitely go out with the 4 pacer.
Yeah.
Or trust you, Angeline, and hopefully.
No, don't trust me. I
Don't trust anybody else, bar a pacer.
Yeah, stick to the pacer.
I'm definitely just going to stick with pacer, because I did pick somebody, and then in my head I was telling myself stories about this person, like that, I'm going to push on ahead of them at halfway. I didn't know this person from Adam, right? I'm like, I was like, after you, sort of like this here, and then next thing, his plan at halfway then was to push on, and he did, and then I couldn't, and I was like, no. So
yeah, and you're psychological.
Yeah, and then next thing I was like nearly, and then this other big group that was chatting away, like close to me, like they sort of pushed on too, and they were still talking and all. I was thinking to myself, I did the castle, the turn there.
Yeah.
That was about halfway, like, and then next thing they pushed on from there, and I was like I am at 3/4 pace here, like I can't. If I go now, I'll probably not finish, because it would be like blow a gasket, like, and I didn't have many ratings either, I don't think.
I found actually in Cork, me and Ivana ran together for a long time, and then around mile maybe 18, she pushed on a bit, I think.
I'd be used to that, yeah. She would.
If memory serves me right, and it was about mile 18, and I just couldn't. And it wasn't as if I felt I was going slow. She was just going a bit faster, and I was like, I don't think I can. I was like, I'll not push on here just in case I completely blow up. But I, like yourself, was always not going to follow a pacer because of that pressure or that demotivation. And I think that's probably pretty common now, that when you've said that, and that's always how I felt, and I think maybe that's how people feel, because you don't want that pressure on yourself of trying to stick to, say, a 4-hour pacer. And I found in Cork actually that I stuck with the 4-hour pacer up until, again, mile 18, 20 potentially. And, the earlier miles, I was like, I probably could go a bit quicker here. I'm a big bank a bit. And that's probably what I've always been maybe used to doing. And they say you shouldn't do that. But then I don't know, because in the Portadown half marathon, I banked some earlier miles, and I felt then that helped me in the second half.
Yeah.
So I don't know what strategy is the best, to be fair. We're still working on that.
I was just maybe a little bit scared of the marathon, so didn't want to. I would be if I was doing a 5K, or if I was doing anything prior to the marathon training block, I would be like yourself. I would have gone out and banked and then pulled back, and if I was strong, I'd have finished. Whereas, and that could be a 5K, 10K, anything, I'd always try and bank a bit first when I'm fresh.
Yeah.
But I think in a marathon, I was maybe just too afraid to do that, because people say don't run your race in the first,
Yeah.
So, but definitely, I would have said in the first 10 kilometers, I was running with the pacers, and I was going, I could definitely be faster than this.
Okay.
See, the last 5 kilometers, maybe I wasn't on that particular mindset, so I didn't. But yeah, I know I definitely. They pulled away from me. There's a pub called the Silver Key, I think, and I lost them. but I kind of caught them then by the straight road, which gave
Wow.
me encouragement. But I think but then again, you see, I was going with a 4:15, but I really I had kind of publicly said I'd do 4:30. So, I wasn't going to be overly disappointed if I did
Yes.
a night then.
Yes.
I don't know.
I'm really questioning whether I can get a sub 4 Padraig, I'm going to say. I'm really questioning, can I? Do I have it in me?
You mean
Do you
full
know?
stop or just this much?
Yeah. I know I suppose, I don't know. It's probably just because, I did a lot of training
Right.
for Cork. I don't know. And maybe that's just something in my head that I
Oh
need
yeah, you
to.
need to get rid of that. Like,
I know. But I remember saying to Kieran at the very start of the training, I said, Kieran, I only have one speed. Like, this is the only speed I have. And I went back, and my first run that I went out in February was faster than the runs I nearly do now. And I think, have I not improved at all? Yeah, I don't know. And then I wonder too, I think for my training for Cork, I maybe missed out some of the pickups and didn't focus too much on the interval training, which I am focusing on now. So
yeah.
maybe
What's your half marathon time, Angeline?
it is 1:53.
So you definitely should be able to do 4-hour marathon.
Yeah. And that was, you see, this is the question mark I have in my head because that was a Portadown marathon and I pushed on and banked a lot. And coming over the line in Portadown, I was still strong. Like, my last mile was it was fast too. I think I have a wee bit of work to do on push a bit harder, like just work a wee bit harder, just pump them legs a wee bit more. I sort of sometimes plod along.
Yeah, yeah.
And there is a difference because when you're doing the interval runs, and I did the interval runs this evening, and most of them are sub 8 minutes when I'm doing that 5-minute run. That fast 5 minutes and then
Yeah.
full recovery or whatever. And I feel strong, but it's a different type of stride, isn't it? Like, it's a strong stride, and I wonder, do I need to just work on my stride to help get me a wee bit faster? Opening the hips a wee bit more, or I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. But it is, you said something about being braver, just pushing on a bit. You see, I'm a kind of a laid back character, so like it's not in my nature to kind of be almost
Yes.
dying going over the line. Do you know what I mean? Or push,
Yeah.
you see people that are almost throwing up, because they push so hard. Like, I'd be going, what's the point? But
Mhm.
in order to get the times down, you've got Kieran, coach, telling you push a little bit harder. One of the girls that are part of his group, that I was doing a 10K and I was hoping to do my PB on that one. And I was saying to her, oh yeah. And she goes, you're well able to do that. And she just said, just before we took off, like, she goes, you need to be just a little bit braver. Do you know what I mean? You need to push.
Yes.
So I did. And that was like running around my head then every time I was going, oh, pull
Yes.
back, I'm feeling tired.
Yes.
But it is the mentality of just pushing on
Right.
when you're feeling a little bit like I can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you get into a kind of a stride again, I think. I mean, that's just the humble middle of the pack kind of guy that doesn't know much really. But
I know. Yeah, but I think these are the conversations we have at this stage of running, this pace that we are running at, that, once you break that 4-hour mark or whatever it might be, you might then go, okay, well, I can do a wee bit better. Or, like, I felt good after that half marathon, that 1:53. My first mile was like sub 8 set, and then all the miles consistently were about 8:20, all the rest of them. And, none, like, maybe one of them was 9 minutes, maybe at one point, but everyone was really, like, well sub 9.
but I definitely think the intervals definitely helped the
Yeah.
session work, which is still doing intervals, and
Yeah.
the slower paced, because I know you talked about this previously about not being able to go slower, but I think it's really important to be able to go
Do
out.
you think it works then,
Definitely
Padraig?
easy paced runs. But it's like, I think you should speak to Kieran, the coach. like as to what should your easy pace be?
I must message him, yeah.
Because I think that's like Ivana and I were even talking about that even the last day, because her easy pace should be a little bit harder. So she runs with me on an easy run when really she
Yes.
shouldn't, because she should be going a little bit faster.
It's like me and Fergal probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that could be the game changer.
Yes.
I did a long run I did on Monday. The long run I did on Monday was 14 mile with 7 mile marathon pace in the middle of it. And like that, 7th mile of that marathon pace was like trying to hold the actual pace was really, really tough. Like it felt like the end of a marathon, where you're trying to hold on. Like, so I think that there's like, from my experience of sport and training, like you have to train for the environment you're going to be in, which is that pushing your body to the limit, even if it's the 7 mile and a long 14 mile, even if it's for a 4:30 marathon or a sub 4 hour or 3:30 or 3 year, like it's all the same. Like if you don't go there and training, like it's going to be very hard to go there
in the race.
Like,
when you're doing a training run and you can't do the pace, and next you're doing it for 4 hours, or like I was doing something on Tuesday night at the session where we had to do, faster than your 5K pace for so many laps, and I was going around and going flying, and then the next day I went out and I was supposed to do like slower, and I was struggling, and I was going, how on earth did I run?
Yeah.
And now I can't even, and then you get up to a start of a race and you're going, how am I going to go for, on Sunday, how am I going to do that pace to get me 150 when you can't even do
10K
10K, like?
Yeah, 10K pace. You're going like, I can't do 10K pace. How did I run a 10K in this pace? It's like,
I know, it baffles.
But what you can do in a race day, like, is,
yeah, it's definitely the momentum of it.
Yeah, you'll do. There's just adrenaline
and people and pacing and following people. And then it goes back to your fueling strategy. I mean, I take caffeine gels during a race, which I wouldn't do all the time during training, and they make a huge difference. I mean, did you take any caffeine gels?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I see. Do you drink tea and coffee?
Yeah.
I would definitely try a couple of caffeine gels, because I find even with the shorter races, when the caffeine kicks in, it definitely gives you a bit of a boost.
A bit of a kick.
How long after do you find it kicks in?
Sounds like a drug, doesn't it? We're talking about it. Well, it is, I suppose. It is about half an hour, I'd say.
Okay.
How often do you take the gels in?
So, well, you see, when you were saying 5 miles, I was kind of 30 minutes, 5 kilometer kind of. So I was taking them every 30 minutes.
Okay.
So I had every 30 minutes, and then I had the drink mix as well. But at the halfway point, I took a caffeine gel, and then I took a caffeine gel that would kind of get me in for the last half an hour. And
wow.
It definitely, like I remember taking them for the first time in a half marathon and going, jeepers, I'm flying,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really felt like it definitely gave me that kind of, just that it is a bit of energy. It's just that energy just when you should be sagging a little bit. No,
yeah, okay, I must try them.
No, not the night before to try it for the first time.
Yeah.
I didn't try it the night before the first time. I haven't tried them gels before, and then I tried them first time in the marathon. Not the night before.
Well, don't take a caffeine gel the night before, because then
nobody takes caffeine gel the night before.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I laughed, Padraig, because the morning of the marathon, the way your watch tells you, how you are. And it was like, rest today due to extreme exhaustion on the morning of the marathon.
Oh, that's a great mind monster to start with, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Not so good. Not so good. And that was probably like traveling down, lack of sleep, a hotel the night before, all these things. They all play a factor into it, don't they?
Yeah. I must say, for Dublin, I'm a bit worried about the hotel bit. Any race I've ever done, we've driven and we parked up on the morning, so I've never gone away. It can upset everything, your head, your routines, all that sort of stuff.
I think though, and Kieran did say it, that, get good sleep the week before. like, prioritize an extra hour every night, so build it up, because you're not gonna sort of fatten the calf in the morning of the show. Like, you're not gonna get like really good night's sleep the night before. It's actually the build up the week before with the sleep. So I think that's what I'd be doing again this time.
Yeah, it's all a learning, really, isn't it? I mean, it's all about the gels, it's all about your sleep, it's all about your training. I mean, Fergal, you had a story there about learning your lines and how that's all got to do with building up your training. How did that go again?
Learning your lines is like the training, but then the marathon is like the play, and you have to go out and actually deliver your lines. Like, your lines, they're in there.
Yeah.
You've done the lines, but then whenever you go out onto the marathon, like, that's when you have to deliver a performance on the stage then, there and then, like, and do your easy runs. Or
I think there's a mental thing too, that you always need to like try and battle, and you have to believe that you can do it to do it. And I suppose I don't know if I need to work on that.
The only way you can do it,
I'm just going to keep training.
Yeah.
And then you just need to break it down. Like, so say there, that's what I'm saying, like, part about doing, a lead up in the marathon. Like, because when we went to Carlingford, we didn't really have a clue, and then you were nearly self-conscious of going out to do a warm up 10 minutes ahead of time or whatever, like, because like,
I still feel like that.
You don't really know what to do. But even like before a Cork marathon, like, I was like, maybe we were a bit, we had to wait or something for somebody, and then next thing we were meeting you guys, and they were walking. I was like, we're not going to be able to warm up like in the paddock where everybody's standing, like, so that's what we wanted to do, like, a warm up for the stream. So, but we were 10 minutes sort of behind schedule there, like, for one reason or another, and then that was your warm up time. Do you know what I mean? Or you could have went out prior to leaving the hotel and everything, and got sort of limbered up for 20 minutes, which I think was what I wanted to do, but then we ended up never doing it. And then, so if we was doing it the next time, I'd probably go out earlier in the morning and do a bit of a shoot.
I don't think they say you should do that.
No, I think
but you still need to do a bit of a bit of a warm. Like, if you're going there and then you haven't done any warm up at all, like, you're just straight into the marathon. And
I think on our last podcast with the Runner's Diary people, they had said use your first 5 kilometers as your warm up.
As your warm up, yeah.
But even like stretching or like, pickups, like,
something anyway.
Some sort of like limbering up, like, to get you sort of in the game, like, is what I think.
Yeah. Limbering up is definitely it, because I think I know we've all done marathons now, but we know it's a seriously long distance, and you definitely shouldn't go off too fast, and you definitely shouldn't burn too much precious glycogen.
Yes, exactly.
In the first mile or two, or before the first mile or two. But you don't want to be overly primed, I think, at the start line. Instead, I really think you're right there at the end, as you said, Fergal. It's opting for a less is more approach. Walk around a little, do a bit of light skipping, some leg swings, just get the muscles loosened up and warmed up, and then go straight off and head for that marathon. Heading for the marathon is what we're doing, so I think that's a good place to finish up this week's show. And yeah, looking forward to Dublin, and there's a lot of weeks to go yet before we hit there, but I've really appreciated you joining me again, and we will definitely have a catch up while you're away, and we'll have a catch up after the marathon maybe to see how we've survived Cork and then Dublin. So thanks again for joining me this week, and yeah, the best of luck for the rest of the training block.
Sure.
Padraig, thanks a million.
Thanks for having us.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
So that was Fergal and Angeline Murphy joining me there for episode 3 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. Join me again next week, where we will have Laura Fleming joining us. She's a marathon runner, a mum of 3 boys, a blended family of 5 kids in total. So she'll be talking about all those things, how a review of Cork, and how her training is going for future marathons. So yeah, it's been a real pleasure to have you join me again this week. Subscribe, follow us on all the social media channels. But for this episode, thanks for listening.